Hi everyone. In this video, we will be connecting an OLED display to an ESP32 microcontroller using Wokwi. Now let's add our component. Click on the component tab, search the OLED display in the search bar and select the OLED I2C display. Drag and drop it onto the workspace. Wire it up. OLED display will need to be connected to the ESP32 using I2C pins. Typically, the SDA pin, which is the serial data of the OLED, connect to the GPIO pin on ESP32, and SCL pin, which is serial clock, connect to GPIO 22 on the ESP32. Don't forget to connect the VCC and the ground to 5V and ground pin on the ESP32. Now it's time to write the code. This line includes the wire library, which is essential for I2C communication. I2C protocol is used to connect the ESP32 to the OLED display via the SDA and the SCL pins. This is the Adafruit GFX library, a graphic library that simplifies drawing text, shape, and image on display. It works as a foundation for many display types, including the SSD1306 used in our OLED. This is the specific library for controlling the SSD1306 OLED display. It includes function to initialize the display, draw shape, display text, and update the screen. Define screen width and screen height. Defines the dimension of OLED display, which has a resolution of 128 pixel in width and 64 pixel in height. This line defines the I2C address of the OLED display. 0x3C address is typically for many SSD1306 OLED display. Adafruit display. This line create an object named display of type Adafruit SSD1306. The first two parameter is the width and the height to tell the size of the display. Wire is used for the reference of the wire library, which handles the I2C communication. -1 refers to the reset pin. In most cases with I2C display, you don't need to use a physical reset pin, so it's set to -1. In this setup, we have the serial.begin, which initializes the serial communication with a baud rate of 115200. This initializes the OLED display using the begin function from the library. This tells the display to use the internal charge pump to generate the required voltage. And this is the I2C address defined earlier. If the display fails to initialize, the code inside the if statement runs, which is OLED initialization failed. While true, this causes the program to enter an infinite loop if the OLED display cannot be initialized. Display.clear display. This cleared the OLED display by filling it with a black pixels. It's a good practice to start with a clean slate before displaying new information. Set text size at 1. This set the text size for displaying text. 1 means the text will be displayed with normal scaling. And this is the text color. White means the text will be white, which is typically color for monochrome OLED display. Set cursor. We set the cursor position to the top left corner of the display, which is 0,0. And then we have the println function, which display hello ESP32 on the OLED screen. The F function is used to store the text in flash memory rather than the SRAM, which helps save RAM for other tasks. Then we have this display. This update the OLED screen to reflect the changes made. In the loop, it runs continuously in Arduino program. In this case, there's nothing in the loop because we just want to display a static message once when the program starts. Click on the Start Simulation in Wokwi. You will see the message Hello ESP32 displayed on the OLED screen. And that's it. You have just learned how to connect an OLED display to the ESP32 using Wokwi. You can use this setup for any project that requires a small display for output. If you want to make your display more interactive, you can add buttons or sensors to your setup. The possibilities are endless. If you have any questions, you can just drop the message. Thanks for watching.